Welcome, welcome to the Players Ball Podcast for AT Aliens by AT Aliens. I'm your host, MB. I am not MB. That is MB. I am Alex the Great. Welcome back to another episode of the pod. Um, we gained a subscriber. We want to shout out to you, former coworker of MB. Thanks for joining us. I hope you're enjoying the show. Feel free to comment. Everybody else, make sure you're commenting on things that you're interested in, takes you don't agree with. Let us know what you think. And we'll right back. So, there's been a lot of action over even the last 48 hours. There was a viral event at the Home Run Derby. There was a performance of our national anthem that I think we both could have done better than.
I don't know. I'm a pretty bad singer, but
Oh, I'm dragging Ingrid. I'm dragging her. Give me give me 70,000 in a stadium and I'm an outperformer every time.
yeah, so a lot of comparisons being made to the 2020 NBA All-Star national anthem by
Mm.
none other than Fergie. Thought that one was going to go down as the worst national anthem performance of all time. Ingrid said, "Hold my beer," literally.
Hold my beer. Yeah, we saw that later on. She came out and said she's entering rehab. She was drunk during the performance. I mean, it's an all-star game. It probably was one of the biggest performing moments of her life, right? So maybe she should have been a little bit sober and saved her beers for afterward. But
Yeah, so
this could also have been a sign that she has a drinking problem. So
she was a Grammy nominated artist. I had never heard of
hmm
her, but when they said they gave all her accolades when they announced her, right? And then she started singing, and I was like, "She a what?
the
Grammy
Grammys have
nominated?
taken a step down, huh?
Grammy nominated? What?"
Yeah.
And then I
Do
remembered,
you foray into country music?
no, not at all. And that's what I was gonna say. And
Okay.
then I remembered they said country music singer, and I said, "Well, that makes a lot of sense because they can't sing."
Yeah. I don't know. Like Shania can do her thing. I think Mr. Stapleton's pretty solid.
Tim McGraw can sing. I was just a little tongue in
Being
cheek.
facetious.
Yeah. I
Nah,
am
she
not
was
a
bad though,
fan
man.
of the country music. Not at all. So
There's a couple artists that I do like Chris Stapleton. I listen to a lot of his stuff. Why horse? And then there's a new black artist, man, called Shabuzi. He's got a song called Bar Song.
mm,
I'm gonna drop the description of that in the chat. I'm sure it's got a million views. Maybe it'll help us build up a following.
yeah.
Shabuzi. Yep. So from that, I mean, we can jump to the Braves had a couple people performing in the Derby
One
and in the game. One in the Derby, he didn't do very good. He did hit one of the longer bombs of
hit
the
two
evening.
of the longer bombs. Two
Yeah,
two
projected.
470 plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he didn't do terrible. 16 home runs. It wasn't enough to move on to the second round, but it was it wasn't the worst. So
hmm And what we're hoping is that his swing is not changed from all of those Derby swings that he took, because he's been on fire. I was looking at the Brave stats. He's leading in every major statistical category except for stolen bases. Right, average, RBIs, home runs. It wasn't slugging. I forget what the fourth one was, but maybe run score.
RBIs for sure. He's now the all-time record holder for RBIs before the All-Star break for the Atlanta Braves. So I think he had
Yeah, that's amazing.
79 maybe. I don't remember what the exact total was. But yeah, he passed Andrew Jones. I forget who else was up there on that list. Probably Hank Aaron. Uh, I think Ronald Acuna might have been up on that list. But yeah,
Mm, I figured he
Marcelo
would have been.
Ozuna, he's killing it in the RBI category this year. Just overall, he's been holding down the Braves offense for the majority of the season. So, yeah, we need him to come out of the All-Star break and not change a thing.
One man army, guns can't harm me. Yeah, nah, he has to keep it going, and hopefully, our other batters will follow. Right, pick up that pace. We haven't been looking as bad as we did in May. Um, I thought we looked pretty good in the Padres series. I caught one. Well, I didn't watch the whole game, but I caught one of that final game where we let up some runs, but we still were able to win, which is nice. Did you see that game? Because I know you watch a lot of them. Did you see the game, the 1-0 game, the match free pitched against?
That's disgraceful, right? One
Yeah,
zero to
the 1-0
lose
game,
1-0. I mean, you couldn't get one run.
1 run. It was one of the better pitchers in the league right now. It's the Diamondbacks. Who pitched
Yeah.
that game? Who did he pitch against?
Was it Spot? Spot?
Yeah, yeah, Brandon Spot. He's a youngin, isn't
Yeah, he was
he? Yeah,
a breakout.
25.
He was a breakout player. Man, that West Coast road trip was a difficult one for me because, the 9 p.m. start times, games ending after
Hmm.
midnight, and I caught majority of it. There's a few I had to turn off to get some shut eye. I do have a 9 to 5 that I have to be somewhat worth a darn. So yeah, those West Coast games, man, they're rough.
I'm really struggling still to recover from my jet lag, dog. Like I have to force myself to lay down, and most nights I'm not asleep before 1 o'clock,
Wow.
and it hurts me in the morning, right? So I've been drinking coffee. I take like a 5 o'clock nap, which is terrible. And I get up and be just going for a while. But I've been trying to get out of bed earlier. I have 3 alarms set, one across the room, one on my phone, and then we never turned off the Alexa alarm downstairs. Don't say anything. My device. Oh, I wanted to order a new one. Prime Day. Oh well. But yeah, man, that's the Braves. So what about the All Stars that we had? What did you see from the pictures that we sampled out there?
So Max and Chris Sale and Ronaldo Lopez each got an inning of work. They all looked good. It's kind of nice to have them stretch their arms a little bit, stay loose. Um, but they all did well. They didn't allow any runs. Ronaldo Lopez got a couple of Ks. So all in all, great showing from our pitchers. The National League lost, unfortunately. I think the score was either 5-3 or 5-2. Um, but none of those runs were due to any of the Atlanta Braves. So
Hmm.
a little pride there.
This the Shohei legend continues to grow.
Yeah, he was the only one that produced any kind of runs for the National League.
Yeah.
I
I think I saw something that said he was like the first Dodger to have a multi-run homer in an All-Star game since Mike Piazza.
Yeah, the Dodgers broke a couple of their franchise records, taking one step back to the Derby. Teoscar Hernandez was the first not Braves, Dodgers player to win the Derby in a extremely long period of time. So,
Mm. Yeah, they haven't won a championship in longer than us either. Don't want to forget to say that.
they also just
Oh
got
man,
waxed by the Phillies. I believe they
yeah.
got swept by the Phillies.
Was it a sweep?
I'm pretty sure it was.
Is Mookie Betts still out?
I don't know. I don't keep up
Right.
with them. I do know that Freddie was at the All Star game and was catching up with a couple of his former teammates, and I believe his son Charlie was kicking it with Blooper. You know,
Was he really?
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but no, overall great, great few days for a few
Yeah.
Braves to get out there and and have that experience. So we just need them to be prepared and ready to go in the second half, because it's going to be a grind from here on.
It is indeed. It is indeed. All right, well, go Braves. Still nothing new on the trade front. I'm skeptical, man. I don't know what moves are going to be made, but I'm sure we'll hear about them quickly. I don't think that he's done. I don't know. You know where we were with that last week, as far as me thinking that the Hawks had a lot more to do. You thinking the Braves had a lot more to do, and neither one of them have done anything since we spoke last.
Well,
So
the Braves haven't gone out and traded for anyone, but they have made some roster moves. And one of them was outrighting Brian Anderson to AAA Gwinnett to make open a roster spot. So they are moving some pieces around, and all signs point to something is about to happen, because you wouldn't make room on the roster unless some decisions were about to go down. So I still stand by that point that AA
that's
is going
solid.
to go out there and get some.
Okay. All right, man. Well, we'll keep our eyes and ears peeled for the folks. Keep them updated. All right, one of the topics that we talked about last week, man, college football game day. I don't have it yet. I did not pre-order it, so I can't play until tomorrow. But you have dove in. Give us your 10,000-foot view of it so far, man.
So I'm a redshirt sophomore at the University of Georgia. Road to Glory halfback. You know what I'm talking about? 4-star coming out of high school. Repping the Norcross Blue Devils is my hometown.
Oh, that's fire.
Which I will say, something cool that the football program did at the high school is they released photos of all the players that have played at Norcross that are currently in the game. So they posted their biopics and whatnot from the game, which I thought was pretty cool. But enough about that. I was redshirted. I chose to go to Georgia. You get to choose, like, you can choose to walk onto a school, or you can choose whatever program you want to go to. They do give you a meter of your position and how difficult it's going to be at that particular school to make it into the starting depth chart. So Georgia, it was pretty tough because they have a pretty stacked roster. They are the number one team in the game.
Do they?
So the entire first season, I was just going to class, working out, going to practice, doing a couple appearances, doing whatever I needed to do with the teammates to build some rapport. And yeah, man, I come to redshirt sophomore year, and I'm finally starting on my way to a second natty. First natty was redshirt freshman year.
What? So hold on. You simmed through, I imagine, since you weren't playing, the first season, or did you play all of those games and
So
your player didn't get to start?
yeah, so it's like simming it until the moments happen that you're involved in. So like a few games in my true freshman year, I saw the field mainly on QB Neals. But I did see the field in a couple games. There is a rule in college football. You can't play in more than 4 games and still redshirt. So they kept me under that threshold so that they could redshirt me.
Got it.
But yeah, it's
What's the going to classes and weightlifting? Is that playable content?
sort of. It's not.
Just sitting in an auditorium, like
No. They give you essentially action points that you can spend each week, and you have to balance going, like, studying, doing stuff with teammates, working out, resting, or doing like the social media thing. And if you don't go to class and you're not prepared, your GPA will drop. If your GPA drops, you can get kicked off the team.
Oh
You,
my goodness.
you lose coach's trust. So the entire first year, you're just trying to gain coach's trust because that's how you're going to get to break the rotation. And then when you do build up enough points, you'll have what's called position battles, where they actually you play through mini games and you have to win 2 out of 3 of the mini games to win the position.
That's
So
hard.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a little bit cheesy just because there is a repetitiveness of when you go to practice, you only have like a handful, at least at running back, you only have a handful of mini games that you can play. I think there's 6
Mm.
total. And so there is a lot of repetition. And but it's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
Not to give too many spoilers away, but you do have like text messages that will come through. I had my offensive coordinator text me and start asking me questions about the playbook, and by answering them correctly, I was able to gain some coach trust. I had a teammate text me and tell me his girlfriend recently broke up to him with him, and I had to choose what to do. And one of the options was call or text his ex girlfriend.
I mean, all that changes if you pick a different school, right? Like if you come in as a 4-star, 5-star running back at, I don't know, a school that doesn't have a running back, you start, so those other things are less important, or no? Is that the multiplayer mode that you're talking about? Can you
No,
do that one together?
this is
Okay.
Road to Glory. So this is like
Road to Glory. Got it.
it's not a story mode like it has been in the past, but it's essentially the same type concept. Uh, MLB, it's the road to the show, right? You create your player and
Hmm.
you play it through some sort of scenario. And yeah, I imagine depending on the school you go to, you can choose what level of prospect you are coming out of high school. So I chose 4-star because I didn't want to go all the way 5, but I didn't want to go like super hard and be like a 2-star trying to go to Georgia.
Yeah.
um, but it's been fun. Like I said, we won the Natty in my second year. We're on our way to it. There is some silly stuff going on. Like in my first year, we lost to a couple bum schools and then turned around and beat Texas on the road. It's like, how realistic is that? And
Yeah.
then in this current season, I'm the only undefeated team in the country, and I'm not ranked number 1 in the CFP. I'm ranked number 2, and I'm ranked number 2. Ohio State's number 1, and they have 4 losses.
Jeez.
Yeah,
That's
so
not realistic at all.
no, so there's some whack stuff going on with whatever their sim algorithm is, but it's still a lot of fun. It's still nice to have college football. I can't wait to do a dynasty. I was watching some YouTube content on guys starting dynasties with KSU, bringing the
Hmm.
Owls to the glory. So
That's dope. We may be deeper than we think. The Bowman boys, they have a copy. Their cousins in the game, so I'm sure they'll play with him. I think he was at Boise State. He's at D1, but yeah, I'm gonna pick it up
yeah,
and we'll start that, man.
yeah, we got to get that big dynasty crew going.
Yeah, no, that'd be dope. I'm excited about that actually. All right. Yeah. All right. So we'll have more updates for when I get it tomorrow. Well, we won't update you tomorrow. We'll update you next week, but more to come on College Game Day 25.
If I had to give it a rating just after a few days, I give it a solid 8.5 out of 10.
Oh, that's strong.
Yeah.
Strong rating. Strong rating. All right. I mean, this for it to be the dead time of sports. There's a lot going on. So you got the video game, we got the derby and the home run, and then there's summer league, right? Where my eyes have been paying a lot of attention to the Hawks and the youth that they have. Have you caught any of the summer league games or any of the highlights?
I've caught a decent amount of the highlights. I did try to watch the game against the Wizards. I think there was
Mm,
something else on that was conflicting, so I was flipping back and forth. I did see a couple decent highlights from Zachary Rishasher. Um,
hmm
Overall, I think we made the right decision. Maybe there's a player out there balling, doing some pretty nasty things, and we had an opportunity. He was someone that the organization talked about quite a bit, and it will be
Reed,
interesting. No,
who are you talking about?
uh, Klingon,
Oh yeah, I haven't seen Klingon play. I saw
Donovan
Reed
Klingon.
Reed Reed Shepard is tearing it up
Yeah.
for the Rockets. He looks like a stud too.
So Donovan Klingon just went up against the Wizards and Alex Sarr, and Sarr was 0 for 15. He did
Yeah.
worse than a Bronny stat line.
Mm, mm. I'm gonna circle back to Bronny because I saw something that was very interesting to me. I wonder how it plays out. Um, so what did you think of Ricochet so far?
I think he's I think he's going to be a solid piece, right? I think
Mm-hmm.
when he gets around Trey and JJ, he's going to pick up, elevate his game a little bit. I still think it's a really safe type pick, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's young, so I don't want to say his ceiling is low. Um, but I think his floor is higher than, most.
Yeah,
So I think it's going to be a solid pick. Now, what stinks is our second round pick. I believe, I don't know how long he's out, but he fractured his foot. So he's
yeah,
going to miss some time.
yeah. Derisic, he dunked on Alex Sarr. It was a vicious dunk too. It looked really nice, and I was happy that he did it. I have a lot of ill will towards that fella now. The way he disrespected our organization. I thought that Ricochet looked really good, right? Flashes of very good talent. I agree completely. I don't know where his ceiling is, but he has a high floor for sure. Um, at Trey and JJ pulled up to the second game, and Trey commented like, you gotta let it fly a little more because in the second game he didn't shoot as much. He's the leading scorer on the team so far. There's been some other interesting players. Windler, I think he was with the Lakers organization because his player picture is a Lakers jersey, but he's been doing pretty good. He's leading the team in rebounds. He's not a huge guy, but he can let that thing fly from behind the arc too. So he might get a two-way deal. And then we were talking about it before we started. There was a player. Oh man, I can't think of Dre's name
Wallace.
now. Keaton, yeah, yeah.
Wallace.
Keaton Wallace, yeah, he just
Yeah.
got signed to a two-way deal, so he at least got the opportunity to continue to prove himself. But so far, so good with the two that we drafted. It does suck that Jurissic got injured, and that Kobe Buffkin got injured, and he hasn't been able to play either. Because I was interested in seeing him. I was talking to Dion. He said that he heard that Kobe could be in line to start at the two guard,
Mm,
right? That they don't want to start Bogey and Trey together just because they don't play a whole lot of defense.
yeah.
And then Kobe is supposed to be a defensive stopper of sorts.
Yeah, that'd be
But
an
we
interesting
won't know
lineup.
now. He's hurt. So, what were you about to say?
I was going to say that'd be an interesting lineup, with Kobe at the 2, JJ at the 3. I don't know. I guess that means that Rishasher is coming off the bench. I assume you got Onyeka and Clint, down low. Eh,
I don't think both of them are going to start. I would think it's not what either one of us wanted, but we go small ball. We start Trey if Kobe is the starter. Trey, Kobe, um, Ricochet, JJ, and Clint.
So you're putting JJ at the 4.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
stretch four. and he's undersized for sure, but he played some 4 last year before he got hurt.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, I stand by my point. I don't think they're going to do much, if anything, else this summer. They're going to just try to sell us on this team plus.
Well, they have to do something, and I'll tell you why. They have 5 centers rostered, and still I think it's 4 and 4 small forwards. That's not tenable. You do need some other positions. And the 5 centers in particular, right? So Cody Zeller, Onyeka, Clint Capella. I think they had Larry Nance as a center. I can't remember who the 5th one was, but that's why there's speculation that
Did you
they're not done.
say Bruno Fernando?
And Bruno Fernando, he's 5. Yeah, yeah, that's way too many. You don't keep that many.
Yeah.
So we'll see what they do. They have to do something else, right? I think be a very it'd be a disservice to their business, not only the fan base, but to their business if they don't make further moves. So I'm sure the season tickets and ticket sales in general will suffer for sure.
Oh, it'll just go the way it's gone for many years, and the stadium will be packed out with the opposing team's fans.
Yeah, but even like Wizards fans aren't gonna come. The Wizards are trash. Like the Nets are garbage. I can't really think of a team in the West that no one would show up for. I mean, it's the West, so they're over on this side a lot less. Like Charlotte, that's not the West either, but
But Charlotte's such a close drive that I could see their fans traveling. It's like a 3 hour
yeah, but
drive.
they don't follow the Hornets, right? No, the Hornets suck. They're worse than we are.
You got
Yeah, empty arena.
got the ball, brother.
Yeah. Mm.
Mellow.
Melo, I think Melo's pretty good. Um, but he hasn't proven to be able to stay healthy. Brandon Miller looks like he's going to be pretty good, but I'm not paying to see him yet.
Yeah.
Have you caught any USA basketball?
No, I haven't. I'm waiting for the Olympics to start to pay attention. I did see some highlights though of the kid that's going to Duke. I forget what his name is. Oh, but he was balling.
Yeah, yeah, I know you're talking about small forward, power forward.
Yeah,
Oh man,
upcoming freshman at Duke.
yeah, no, he's gonna be cold. They played Australia. They did a prelim against Australia, and one of our latest acquisitions from the Pelicans was playing, and he was a solid contributor. He was everywhere. He didn't show like incredible athleticism or blazing speed or anything like that, but he looked like he did everything above average: shooting, finishing, rebounding. He even had a block. So he looked pretty good.
Was
He
it
looked pretty
uh
good.
Daniel Dawson?
Dyson Daniels,
Dyson
close.
Daniels.
Yeah,
DD, double D's.
double D's. Throw some D's on double D's. Yeah, no, he looked pretty good. So I was good to see. It was good to see him as well. I'm sure he'll contribute. He's not going to push us into the play-in, right? But at least we'll have a lot of talent to evaluate if it is just a throwaway season, which is not what I'm asking for. But if it is, that's what we'll do.
For sure.
Um, Olympics, the U.S. going to win the gold, you think?
I don't
Or will
know.
they
There's a
blow it?
lot of competition internationally. Do I think we
Yeah,
should win the gold? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we still dominate the sport of basketball, but
we do.
there are countries that have definitely bridged that talent barrier or that talent gap,
Oh, yeah.
and
Canada, France. The starting five for Australia, 4 of them were NBA players.
the Team USA is pretty old. I think uh, the players, a lot of the
They got
star
some youth
talent.
on there, but yeah, no, for sure. Like LeBron. Steph, KD. But they got some youth, like Joel Embiid. He's had an injury history, but he's pretty young still. Ant-Man, um, Tyler Halliburton. Yeah, I do not like his game at all, man. I just don't like it. I don't like the way he passes. I don't like the way he shoots. I sound like Kendrick Lamar. I hate the way you walk, the way you talk. I hate the way you dress. Oh man. Yeah. All right.
So before we move on, you said you were going to circle back to Bronny James, so I gotta hear
Oh
this.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So there was a clip of Jalen Brown sitting courtside at one of Bronny's summer league games, and you can see him mouth, "I don't think Bronny is a pro." Like he's not gonna make it. And then he came out and he commented on the post and was like, "Hey, it's legendary status when you can, get your son to play alongside you. I think Bronny has the tools and resources to be able to have a successful career. Like, just had to walk it all back. But it's still out there. What he said is what he said, and I think a lot of people agree with him, but I think the optics um, are poor. Right? He's already being he's in a lot of conversations because it looks like they overlooked him for the Olympic team, and that it had something to do with him not signing to Nike. Have
Mm.
you heard about that?
I've heard about people being upset he didn't make Team USA. I mean, he is
Yeah,
your Finals MVP, your
Finals
Eastern
MVP.
and Finals, and your Eastern Finals and your Finals MVP.
hmm So and then more than that, they brought in someone was hurt. I don't remember who dropped off the roster, but they brought in Derek White instead of him as the reserve player. And he was like, "Really, really Nike basketball?" is what he said in a tweet. So that's what led to the belief of that. But him talking about Bronny, I don't think he's saying anything that anyone else isn't saying, but he's also, I believe he's still the president of the NBA Players Association. So
Yeah.
it's not a great look. But it was a candid moment. He's sitting on the sidelines talking to he's sitting with like Angel Reese and somebody else, and they literally just watching the game, having conversation about it, and someone just happened to have a camera on him, and he enunciates his words because you can read it clear as day.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a good look. It's definitely not a place you want to be as a player. You never know. He may end up on his team one day. You just don't want to be the villain, right? In the
hmm
in the boys club that is professional sports. But we are human. We have opinions. He's entitled to his. Honestly, I trust his evaluation. Probably higher
Yeah,
than a lot of others. So, it's an unfortunate situation to catch yourself in, but I feel like if you got to own it, you got to stand by your words, and you just got to, keep moving on.
I'm gonna read you his after they posted the video of him saying it and quoted him. This is what he said exactly. It's a flex to have your son alongside you in the NBA. It reflects greatness and longevity. Bronny has all the tools around him to be successful. I look forward to watching his growth. So he didn't really walk all of it back, right? He big up LeBron for being able to do it. It's like reflects greatness and longevity to be able to play with your son,
He just said it in a
and that Bronny has
much
all the tools. Yeah,
much more politically correct way, right?
as I say, you're gonna have to grow if you're gonna make a team, though, brother.
Yeah.
Like at this point, you ain't it.
Yeah. He doesn't appear to be it by any measure. So, I mean, sometimes it's
I
more
think
about who you
Bron is
know,
like,
not what you know.
yeah. I think Brian being in a contract year, this is pure conjecture, right? Him being in a contract year, he saw this as an opportunity to get it done, right? That it may not happen next year, especially if he's already signed to somebody. They don't owe him anything. If they're able to dangle drafting Bronny as a carrot, maybe that's what incentivized him to go ahead and pull him out this year. Because if he wasn't ready, another year in college, like he could have went to the transfer portal and went somewhere and progressed. But I guess then not as many chips are in Bron's bag to be able to pull it off.
But they didn't just draft him; they gave him a $20
Yeah,
million
yeah.
deal.
I told you, LeBron took a pay cut.
They just gave Bronny his salary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Why not? Right? Like Bron's like, all right, look, I'm gonna take a pay cut, but you're gonna sign my son. I'm sure he didn't need all the money. He probably ate most of it, 20 million. I didn't know that. I know they signed him, but I didn't remember the figures,
It's
the
20
numbers of the
million
deal.
and the NBA is fully guaranteed.
Yeah,
So they gonna pay.
yeah. He don't need it. Right? He's not struggling for it, but it helped me a lot.
It changed my
Maybe Bron
life.
can get me. Maybe he can get me a contract next year.
Take a paternity test.
Yeah, adopt me, LeBron.
You my real father.
Oh man, yeah. From one LeBron comment to another, did you look at? I sent you what I wanted to talk about as far as Caitlin Clark, and this is a local hero of ours that she's going to get to be present for her celebration, her flowers ceremony, if you will. Maya Moore is having her jersey retired with the Lynx, and it's going to be obviously it's at a Minnesota home game at the Target Center, but they're playing the Fever, and Caitlin Clark will be able to be there. And I don't know if they asked her about it or she volunteered to come in, but she said that Maya Moore is her LeBron James. And I was thinking, like, what higher praise could you give? I know you don't rock LeBron like that, right? So maybe you think that she was saying Caitlin Clark or that Maya Moore is trash and old, but
No, 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 not like that.
yeah,
So they kind of asked her about what it means to her playing in the game, and she basically said it's an honor. Maya Moore deserves all the flowers. She deserves the accomplishment, and for her it's very impactful because it's someone she grew up watching and admiring. And she said it,
hmm
in her words, she said it's like her LeBron James. I think her analogy was a little weak. She really meant to say it was her Michael Jordan. But um anyways, she's saying that Maya Moore was a very influential player to her, a role model, someone she looked up to, someone she tried to model her game after, someone who
her
was a
goat
star. Yeah,
is
her
how
goat.
I understood it. Yeah,
Exactly. Her goat, and someone who honestly I feel like does not get enough attention for what she did, what she accomplished, the barrier she broke. Caitlin's doing it on a whole nother level now, right? Selling out arenas. The Fever have all the national broadcasts this year. They've moved games for bigger crowds to be able to go see Caitlin. So, Caitlin's definitely doing things on a much grander stage, but
hmm
Maya, for all intents and purposes, is easily one of the top women's basketball players of all time, right? Like Candace Parker, Lisa Leslie, they all deserve to be in the conversation, but I don't think any of them accomplished what Maya Moore accomplished in a relatively short career. She still
yeah,
could be playing today at a very high level if she hadn't decided to give up basketball and pursue some social um, things that were more important to her, right? She felt led by God to pursue some off the court things, and it actually led to her and her husband meeting and growing their relationship and ultimately being married. So
hmm And to him being like exonerated, right, of
yeah,
charges that he hadn't actually committed.
yeah,
It's a heck of a story, right? And I know she means a lot to basketball. I was just googling. She was inducted this year into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, which is deserving. But I'm with you. Like she she would still be dragging the league. And
yeah.
if the light was still on it, then she would be in it for sure.
She would be the all-time leading points scorer in
Yeah.
WNBA history. Uh, there would be no conversation about Diana Taurasi. It would be Maya Moore,
hmm
right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. She's like Calvin Johnson.
or Barry Sanders, right?
Yeah, or Barry. Poor
Except
Detroit.
she won championships and lots of
Yeah,
them,
she did win.
lots of
That's
them.
I mean, that's where it's her stature is just incomparable because she won at every level and she won more than once. Right? She was just a winner.
She won 3 in high
She's
school.
champion through and through.
She won 3 in college, and I think she won more than 3 in the WNBA.
Yeah. I don't know how many she won in the WNBA. I do think she won more than one though, for sure.
She definitely won more than one. I think it was more than 3. And I think she did it as a rookie. So, I,
And she has MVPs in the league, right?
yeah.
Yeah, Maya Moore was a dog, man. In the best of ways.
And just to kind of bring that conversation, we hadn't talked about it, but you brought it up with Jaylen Brown not making it the Olympic squad. So, what do you think about Caitlin Clark being left off the women's Olympic roster?
Um, it was more political than anything, but it looks like she might get a spot coming
Yeah.
in as a reserve. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I forget who.
They just want her to earn everything, right?
Yeah, I mean, I could understand some of it, but at the same time, I think that's not a hill anyone should die on, right? It's not worth dying on the hill
Yeah,
of leaving the biggest face in the sport out of the Olympics, which is the biggest global international event every 4 years, right? Like
yeah. It's poor optics, right? You're mishandling the bag again.
and
Women's basketball.
I understand you're out there, you're trying to get gold medals. I'm not saying that she would hinder your chances or even help your chances for that matter, but it's a huge missed marketing opportunity, right?
100%. She won 4 WNBA championships in an 8-year career.
Yeah.
50% of the seasons that she played, she won the championship.
She won 75% of the seasons she played in high school and college.
She won 2 national championships in college.
Or only 2? Did she only play 3 years? I know she was part
She
of the
had
UConn squad
4
that.
trips to the Final Four and 2 national championships.
Oh, okay, so she
4th
lost.
leading scorer in the NCAA history, though, which is really impressive.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the Wade Trophy is, but she won that 3 times as well. She's just a winner.
Yeah.
That's nuts, man. But shout out Maya Moore, Lawrenceville, Lawrenceville, uh, Lawrenceville born, man.
Yeah,
Shout out to G-Co. Gotta get that other G back there. That Gwinnett Brace hat.
the Michael Jordan of the WNBA, not this
Michael Jordan.
LeBron James shenanigans.
hmm Where do you think your hate for LeBron comes from?
I don't know. Honestly,
Is that so? Go
I
ahead.
used to.
I would like to hear it if you do have an answer for that.
So the truth is, man, I used to really like LeBron James. I've watched all the things about him. They did a docu series on him when he was at St. Vincent St. Mary's. I think it was called More Than a Game or something like that. I watched the series that they did recently that was more scripted. It had actors. I really, really loved LeBron coming out of high school. I followed him in high school. I enjoyed while he was in Cleveland the first time. And it was just ever since he left Cleveland, he got on national television, did the decision, went to Miami. I lost a little respect for him. And then over the years, it's just kind of gradually, I guess, increased, just little digs here and there. Just he's an outstanding athlete. He's huge. He's a freak on the court, but it's the little things, the ego, the fact that he doesn't like he plays entitled, right? He doesn't work for it. He doesn't play with the type of heart that I see from other players. I don't feel like LeBron gives his blood, sweat, and tears for the game. I think he shows up and just expects to be great. He self-proclaimed himself as the king, right? He didn't earn that title. I mean, he has kind of now, but it wasn't given to him, right? He took it, and it's just something I just not a huge fan
I think they
of.
did. He definitely had it before he earned it, but I don't think there was something that he self-titled. I think it was put out there and he didn't deny it, right? The King James thing started when he was a rookie, and to go out and deny it, I guess that was what you were looking for. But you were a fan
I'm
then.
I'm not
Did you
saying
give
you
any
deny
points
it,
back to him for
but
going back to Cleveland?
he's openly called himself the greatest of all time. And
As you should.
I don't think that's a title that any individual should self-proclaim.
When you ask Michael Jordan that, do you think he says it somebody else?
I think Michael Jordan will tell you if we step on the court, I'm going to win 10 out of 10 times. He's
Said
not
I'm the
going
greatest of all time.
but he's not going to say I'm the greatest of all times. He's going to say you're not going to beat me. And Michael Jordan had that cutthroat mentality that you're not going to beat me. Kobe had that
I think he would
cutthroat
say it.
Mamba mentality, right? It's just a
I think Kobe
mindset.
would say it too.
I don't think
Just
he
that he
would.
was the greatest of all time. I mean, in a game like that, right? When you get most of the accolades and you hit a level of where those three have been, that's the next thing, right? You want to be known as the greatest of all time, and I don't think it's a problem to say it.
Yeah, I just think it's a little bit too much ego for me. Yes, I did. To answer a question you started asking me, I gave him a little bit of props going back to Cleveland and getting a championship for his hometown. And he's done a lot off the court for the city of Cleveland.
Yeah, he's a philanthropist, yeah, for sure.
And I give him a lot of props for those things. I think he's a sound businessman. Moving to LA, that was a business
Yeah, media
decision.
mogul, absolutely. Yeah, everything
Being
he's
an
done with Warner
actor,
Brother. Mm-hmm.
there's things on the court that I watch. I'm like, I don't see the greatest of all time in those acts. The flopping. You can go find them clips of him in big games loafing, not hustling, not playing defense, really just, like I said, playing entitled. And I don't see greatness in those moments. And you never saw those out of a Michael Jordan. The dude, the flu game, right, is absolutely legendary. Felt awful and went out and absolutely freaking balled. You didn't see Kobe take a play off. They had that killer instinct. And I think if you're going to be the greatest of all time, you got to have that killer instinct.
I think I don't know, man. It's something deeper with you. It's- I, I I agree with the flopping aspect. I think he soured the NBA for me a bit in that regard because I think once he started doing it, it is a thing, right? And it's not until this last year or the year before where they started to penalize you for flopping that things started to get back in the right direction. They're still not quite there, right? The people are always trying to sell the foul and play the game, right? But this man, he's known for his off-court regimen, his diet, his fitness regimen, his workouts. He takes the best care of his body. I think Brian spends like $1 million a year on his diet and a dietitian. Right. He's definitely working for it, to be 40 years old and sign a 3-year multi-million dollar contract and be able to give a little bit to your son is incredible, bro.
He takes care of himself. I will never deny that. But, you know,
You're saying on the court.
there are parts of his game that I don't like.
Mm,
Flopping, taking plays off during big moments, just being f- entitled on the court. I'll say it again. Just
yeah.
expecting to be given everything. And if you're the best, you got to go out there and take it and show people. And I don't feel like he always does that. But you talk about his age, right? Let's not forget Jordan was 50 when he retired, and he was still out there balling. He wasn't the Bulls Jordan, but he was still out there balling.
Michael Jordan was not 50 when he retired.
Look it up, man.
Michael Jeffrey Jordan,
And we'll end it on
retirement.
that.
Retired in 1999.
That
Oh,
was
in 2003. So he retired in 2003. He is currently 61 years old. He was born in 1960 or 1963. So 40. He was 40.
what year was he born?
63.
And he retired in '03.
2003. Yeah.
All right, so he was 40. He looked 50.
You giving you giving that man, yeah, because he was old and he didn't have what LeBron has.
No,
He's
he
definitely more talented. He had the killer instinct. I agree with that, but
he took
LeBron's
time
taking way
off
better care of
too.
his body. Yeah, multiple years. All those
Yeah,
gambling debts, man.
yeah.
So they say.
Alleged.
Alleged gambling debts.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
All
All right,
right.
well, I hope we got one of the greats of our own in Trey Young, man. Maybe he'll go down as maybe not the GOAT, but just re-recognized as one of the greats. And that they surround him with a team that can help him achieve the level of success that I think that he's capable of. Can't do it on your own, though, in the basketball league. So time will tell.
Yeah, he needs to develop that killer instinct, man.
Oh, Trey's a killer offensively, right? He wants the ball at the last second. He's gonna hit those shots. He wants the glory. Don't Madison Square Garden was a couple of years ago now, right? But that was some powerful moments. The Philly series thereafter, even last year against the Celtics, he hit that game winner. He wanted that shot, held it into the last second. Like, nah, I'm taking this. Hit it over Jalen Brown,
Yeah.
the non-Olympian. Shame on them. All right, well, another good conversation in the books, man.
Yeah, man. It's always a pleasure getting to talk and debate some Atlanta sports and just some, you know, national sports topics from time to time. Looking forward to some global sporting events taking place starting in 10 days. I believe is the opening for the Olympics. So,
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to that as well. Should be a good watch, and we can talk about that for sure. You
yeah.
know, Atlanta's in the world. That's the world's games. Close enough for me.
So my kids are interested in the Olympics. They're at the age of, watching some trials and this and that, just interested in it as a spectacle. And they were both very shocked when I told them that the Olympics were here in Atlanta and that I got to go. So
Yeah,
it was
I
kind
bet
of
they were.
cool. Not too many places can say that they hosted the Olympics, but our city can.
No, for sure. Yeah, 100%. In Paris, and we'll have World Cup 2 years, man.
Yeah.
Let's start making plans for that.
We can sign it out, but go check out, if you haven't already, the destruction that took place at the Hard Rock Hotel in Miami after the Copa America final. Let's just say
I heard about it.
don't come to our city and do that during the World Cup. You will not be welcome back.
Well, they botched it. The FIBA, they really did or FIFA, they really did a terrible job. Those people, I saw a video of them being, there was a woman walking around asking how much people had spent on tickets and weren't able to get in. 50,000, 35,000, $28,000. This one guy, they say he bought tickets for him and his wife, 15 racks, and unable to get into the stadium. So I don't know that it results in jumping turnstiles, or I don't know if them people are gonna get their
Going through
money
the
back.
air
I guess
vents?
they wouldn't. Yeah. Going in what?
Going through the air vents?
Yeah. I guess they tore up the city because they didn't get their money back, or maybe they just wanted to see the game. But
They tore up the stadium.
yeah.
But yeah, this is a public service announcement, warning for all those involved in the Atlanta prep. Better get it right, because this is on a global scale.
Yeah. Yeah. Have security tighten out this month.
Make sure those water mains are locked up tight in working order.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Breach fans climb through air vents. That's nuts, man.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Oh yeah, we can definitely sign out on that. Like, subscribe, comment. We appreciate y'all. And we'll keep the content coming.
Keep
Hopefully
it
you enjoyed
civilized.
our conversations and laughs.
All right, man.
All right.
Peace.
Peace, man.